Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hey everyone, really glad you're here today.
We are. Today we're going to be talking about creating effective lead magnets. So if you're here, you've been around any of these trainings, or if you have a business that you are operating online, trying to generate leads online, you probably know what a lead magnet is, but there is that big question mark of what should it be, right? How do we make sure that we are choosing the right topic for our lead magnet and that we are creating it in such a way that it actually helps us to convert new clients, right? We don't just want to grow our list. We want people to become our clients, right? We want people to buy the things that we're offering and, of course, engage with us on the path for that to happen. So we're going to get into all of that here today. We do have several live reviews scheduled as well. So as you're coming in first, introduce yourself in the chat, especially if you have not done so before. We always look forward to learning who makes their way to us, who we're attracting. And of course, we enjoy having you as a part of our community. There's such an incredible, inspiring group of people doing great work in the world, and we're thrilled to be a part of it. So let us know who you are, and of course, come be a part of the community here with us. This is a live call that we offer every Thursday at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time, accepting federal holidays in the US, which, by the way, for those of you who do tune in every week, there will be a pre-recorded call next week because it will be the 4th of July, our nation's birthday here in the US. So next week we will have a pre-recorded training for you guys. So welcome, you guys. Keep it coming. Good to see you, California, Iowa, Long Island. Fabulous to have you. We're going to go ahead and get into it, you guys. We got a lot of content to cover today. And of course, we do have this 2 live reviews. So Greg and I are going to pop out a video and I'm going to get into these slides that I've put together for you. We're also going to go and demo and look at some stuff together. Lots to cover today. All right, so let's get into it. How can we create effective lead magnets to grow our list and, most importantly, to find new clients? So today we're going to first talk about what an effective lead magnet is. We're going to talk about as well how to determine the best thing for you to offer as a lead magnet. We'll talk about creating lead magnets with Canva and AI built into AttractWell. And then we'll talk about where those lead magnets will live inside your AttractWell account so that they can fulfill that critical function of your funnel. So if you are joining us today, as a replay, if you're watching this as a replay, I hope that you will head over to attractwell.com/office hours to hop on the list for these calls and get access to the link that will allow you to join us on a call just like this one, again, live on Thursdays, 2 p.m. US Eastern Time every week. And if you would like to dig into a topic in a little bit more depth, get some hands-on help, some feedback, there are opportunities to do that on this call as well. If you go to attractwell.com/work review, we do save the second half of our hour-long calls to work together on the topic of your choosing. So you can actually reserve space if you go to this link. And if you'd like for someone to take the work off your hands entirely, that is also an option. Head over to attractwell.com/concierge to learn more about our team and request a quote for your project. So let me know in the chat, do you have a funnel? Do you have a lead generating funnel on your website? Now, your lead generating funnel on your website is typically going to involve you having some kind of thing on your website that says, here's a thing I'm offering for free. All I need is your name and email address, right? They put in their name and email address, they receive that free thing that you're promising, and then you now have permission to send them messages, to reach out, to communicate, and so on. Essentially, what we're doing with a funnel in this context is we are, let's just pretend, standing in a room full of people who could be our ideal clients or somewhere in the neighborhood of that. And you say, I am here to help this person who has this problem. Is this you? Hold up your hand, right? Everyone in that room that holds up their hand is a great potential lead for you, right? So this isn't just somebody who's listening. This is somebody who is interested, right? They're interested in solving a problem that you can solve. So our funnel is basically allowing us to solicit that hand raising 24/7, 365 without you being there. It allows you to put your expertise out front in a way that is helpful and contextually relevant to the people that you want to serve. And of course, it helps to build that trust. So a funnel is critical if you have a website really important. And your lead magnet is at the core of that funnel. The lead magnet is the carrot that we're dangling here. It's the, hey, here's this thing of high value to you, and I'd love to give it to you for free. I just need your contact info, right? Okay, so what does that look like for you? Tell me in the chat, if you have a funnel, what are you offering upfront? What is your lead magnet? What are you offering upfront to establish authority and credibility before you start trying to get into a prospecting or closing conversation? What does that look like for you? Pop that into the chat. Now, as you're doing that, let's discuss what an effective lead magnet is. So a lead magnet is, like I mentioned, it's that carrot that we're dangling, right? Give me your name and email. I'll give you this thing that you really want, right? A lead magnet, to be effective, has to accomplish a couple of important things. First, it needs to, of course, attract and collect targeted leads. These are people who are an ideal fit for a thing you're selling, right? And it needs to be something that's very attractive to those people who are an ideal fit for the thing you're selling. It, of course, because we are trying to establish trust and credibility here, it needs to illustrate your knowledge and expertise. But even more importantly than showing them that you're smart, right, or that you know stuff, is that you're showing them that you're smart and you know stuff that they don't, that they wish they did, right? This needs to be in context with their goals, their problems, things that they know they want or need. Right? So it isn't just, here's who I am, I'm an expert in this, and here you can learn, you can read my academic dissertation on XYZ thing. That is not how the commercial world works. It needs to actually speak to something that they care about right now, that they are often articulating maybe in Google searches, right? Or in the types of content that they follow and consume. Now, the next and very critical piece of this to make a lead magnet effective, not just to collect a lead, but to help you get a client, is that this lead magnet needs to be designed to initiate the next steps in the conversion process. Because you don't just get a lead, so you've got somebody's email. So what? You need to be able to take that contact information and turn that into a conversation, or turn that into having them click and watch a video or visit a sales page, make a purchase, etc. The lead magnet needs to help nudge that person who receives the lead magnet to take the next steps so that they can actually properly engage with your business, right? So in this way, if we're talking about being effective, what you offer really matters. It's really important that we have this right. Otherwise, sure, you might have a technically, fully connected, properly connected funnel, but if it's not achieving these ends for you, well, we're missing the mark, right? So let's talk about how we can get this right, how we can choose the right offer to convert new clients. So the first thing that we need to be clear on is what we want to convert, right? What are we trying to do with our funnel? I hope that everyone here understands that we 100% have a goal in our business to grow our list. But the goal of your funnel needs to be a step further than that. It needs to actually be dialed into converting a paying offer, right? And as quickly as possible, right? We want to look at growing our list as being a byproduct of sorting through and trying to first find the people that are most ready to purchase and work with you, right? And everyone else, that's like your list is sort of the net beneath, right? That catches everyone so that that's not a missed opportunity. Maybe they're ready to purchase something in the future, right? If you stay engaged with them. So you want to first establish your conversion goal for your funnel. Now, if you are selling one-on-one coaching or services, that's the primary thing that you're selling. A discovery call or other type of conversation, having them reply, hit reply in the email, book a call with you, fill out a form to book a call with you, whatever that looks like, right? If you know that you need to qualify your lead in a conversation in order to sell them something, the conversion goal of your funnel is to get them onto a one-on-one conversation with you in the DMs, in the email inbox, or of course, in a call on Zoom, in person, over the phone, etc. Right? So we need to establish our goal. So for the majority of us, I would assume this is going to be our conversion goal. Get them into some type of one-on-one communication with you. Now, if you are selling something more leveraged, right? If you don't require a conversation for qualification, this is typically going to be if you're selling a lower priced offering, right? Or if it's a group offering, a membership, things like that. You don't need to talk to somebody to sell them $97, book and call combo or something like that, then you might choose to move them to a sales page, right? Or to watch a video that then points to the sales page, right? So the first thing we need to do is know what we want this lead magnet to do for us, which is, again, to position our credibility and authority, to build trust with the person who receives it, but then to take that trust and move that person to that next step. So what do we want them to do? We're either going to try to get them on a call, or we're going to send them to some kind of a leverage sales tool, such as a sales page or a sales video. Then we need to get really clear on what the carrot is that we're dangling. And it begins with understanding what your person wants, right? It's a goal that they have. It's a problem that they have. And it's something that they can articulate, they identify with. It's a problem they know they have. This is where it gets really important, right? Instead of just going general, this is where we can say, I am speaking to contextually the problem that you uniquely have, right? So it may be, sure, you want to lose 20 pounds, but we're talking to the person that wants to lose 20 pounds because they have tried everything, right? Or they want to lose 20 pounds, but they have mobility issues, right? They are of a certain age. They have, there's certain things that they identify with, right? So you want to get really clear on what that problem is or what that goal is. And it needs to be something that that person already knows that they have. They identify with it already. And then you want to figure out what part of the problem you're going to help them solve and how you're going to do it, right? So again, if we're talking about maybe the person that you really want to connect with, and maybe even the scope of your coaching or an offer that you have is quite broad. So let's just say, for instance, you help women in their 40s to balance their hormones so that they have better energy and perform better in their their high-powered careers, right? So you're talking to professional women who are very high functioning people who are maybe dealing with stress and fatigue, and you know that it's a hormonal thing. Your lead magnet is not going to solve that massive problem, but you can give them 3 steps to wake up with better energy every day. And that's a great lead magnet, right? And then, because you're talking about their unique problem as a woman who has maybe a high stress career, I can talk to you specifically about ways that you can overcome this because I am uniquely qualified to speak to that, right? That's the thing that's going to be really compelling to that person. And then, of course, that for anybody who raises their hand and says, yes, that's me, you know that that's somebody that you can put in front of your offer who's going to be much more likely to connect with it and take that next step and purchase and work with you, right? Then you want to make sure in this lead magnet as well that we are clear on the outcome. Again, it needs to be something that they know they want and the steps that you want them to follow, right? So let's talk about how we can create this lead magnet with Canva using Write with AI and AttractWell first. So we'll go through these steps, and I'm actually going to switch my share over. We're going to build a prompt together in Write with AI and AttractWell to come up with our lead magnet. And then I'm going to show you how we take that content and move it into Canva using their templates to do this pretty easily, make something really beautiful that reflects your brand effectively. All right. So to create your lead magnet, the first thing that we want to consider is utilizing AI. Start with ideas here. I wouldn't use AI for 100% of your ideation though, because the really important piece here is that this needs to reflect your unique expertise, right? We don't want AI to do the thinking for you, but we would maybe like AI to handle the formatting or fill in the blanks a little bit, make it a little easier for you, provide you with the written framework to start with, especially if you don't feel very confident developing this content on your own, right? So you can use AI to come up with some ideas, or to more ideally expound upon the framework that you already have in mind. So if we know that we're going to help that aforementioned high achieving woman who's dealing with stress due to hormonal imbalances, I'm going to give her 3 steps to follow that are going to help her wake up ready to tackle her day every day. Okay. And of course, once she starts incorporating these steps, she is going to feel great. And that's, she's going to remember that I'm the reason why she's starting to feel great. And I'm going to be in her inbox every day, reminding her that we can take this to the next level and solve more problems. Hop on a call with me, right? So we're going to use AI to fill in the blanks here. Make sure that we are really being substantive with this. Again, the purpose of this lead magnet is to really deliver high value, demonstrate that you know what you're talking about and that you can really help this person, because what we want them to do next is to see and take action on the conversion step, right? And so if we're flimsy in the content that we're putting together here, if it's not substantive enough, they're not going to have enough trust or interest to take next steps. So 1,000 words, I would argue even more, is going to be effective for you, so long, again, as that content is substantive. It's worthy of this person's time and effort. And then you want to make sure, if you're prompting AI, that you're super clear on the tone, the audience, and your unique approach, right? Remember, we're talking about delivering your expertise here. So again, don't let AI do the thinking for you. This really does need to be yours, but you can use AI to kind of fill in the blanks and help you generate a little bit more copy. And make sure that when you are building your prompt, that we are clearly telling AI, or if you're writing this yourself, make sure that in this content, we are incorporating a transition that positions your conversion goal as the next best step for the reader. So what that means here is that, going back to this example I've been building of helping this woman who is in her 40s, who is maybe at the height of her career, but who is feeling physically, physically less than awesome. And she wants to wake up feeling better every day. Her energy levels are impacting her, effectiveness at work, etc. We want to show her not just, here are the things that you can start doing. I did these things, they helped me. Here's why I'm credible, etc. But we also want to make sure that she sees that the next thing that she really ought to do is to hop on a call, right? Or is to go purchase this course, right? Or buy this thing, watch this video, etc. Whatever that conversion step is. All right, so let's go take a look at how we can build this. And I would actually love to do this with you guys. If someone in the chat here would like to let me know what the problem is that you want to solve and who the person is that it's for, right? For your lead magnet, who is your person? How are you solving the problem? What is the problem? And remember, this needs to be something that's doable without you, right? If it leaves a gap, ideally it leaves a gap where they can do these things, but in that transition, you're able to say, hey, by the way, let's go ahead and call out the elephant in the room. You've probably tried some of this stuff before, but if you hop on a call with me, we can customize your approach, and you're going to walk away with, with a customized plan, etc. Right? That's going to be really great. I mean, and remember as well, when you are sort of ideating here in this process for your lead magnet, especially if this pertains to you helping someone who is on a similar journey that you've been on, most people who are going to be your best leads, they're at step 1, 2, 12, 20, right? And you're at step 987, right? You don't need to make this super advanced. This really ought to be something that helps someone who is getting started, right? We're not here to teach the teacher. All right, let's see. Ooh, fantastic. All right, Amber, small business owners in federal contracting industry, they don't know how to take their business to the next level due to regulatory compliance from the US government. Conversion goal is to book a discovery call and then join our 10K mastermind. I love that. Amber, how do you help them in a way like I just described? Like, what is the sort of baby steps that you can give them to actually start seeing results before they ever give you a dime? Infrastructure analysis. Is that something they can do on their own? Is this a thing that you can give away that they can maybe download? Do you have like a spreadsheet or something like that? Like, what does it look like to give them a tool that they can use, a checklist? Okay, fantastic. So that's going to be a little challenging for me to come up with on AI, because I can't trust that it's going to be accurate to what you're doing. This is super like the super dialed in, but I think that really positions you effectively to get this done. But definitely follow along framework wise with what I'm sharing here. Because what I don't want to do is come up with something that is just wildly off key for you personally. All right, let's see. Cheryl says, my persona 1 mid to upper level leadership, a leadership assessment tool, or an ebook on executive and business presence. Awesome. Several personas. Let's see. A self-care digital. Okay, all right, Melissa, this is going to be the easiest thing for me to demonstrate here. All right, so Melissa, you serve moms who are stressed raising disabled children. Your goal is to get the moms on a discovery call for coaching, and you have a self-care digital journal. So, Melissa, can you maybe tell me a little bit about how your mom identifies the stress that she's experiencing, and maybe what you think that she wants to download, right? Like, is self-care something that she knows that she should be doing, but she's struggling to do? Cheryl, I see your question here. On showing incredible on this list, should I list 1 to 2 links of where I was quoted in an article on a relevant subject to them? I think that that's something that you can absolutely incorporate into your funnel. I think it's a good idea. That's a great thing to put onto an authority page, but you could absolutely format a lead magnet where some kind of quote from you, or you know, PR, you know, images of featured in, etc. That's certainly a fine place to put that. All right, so going with this, helping moms who are struggling with incorporating self-care. Let's come over here to Write with AI. First, we're going to tell it what we want to do. So I am creating a downloadable PDF lead magnet. Okay, Melissa, she's stressed, overwhelmed. She wants to take care of the entire family and herself. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm creating a downloadable PDF lead magnet for moms raising disabled children who are overwhelmed, if I could type correctly, overwhelmed and stressed. She wants to take care of her whole family, but also realizes that if she doesn't take care of herself, she can't be present for her family the way she wants to. She is familiar with the concept of self-care, but has struggled to implement consistently. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So I've just told them what we want to do. This is what I want. Let's take this a step further here. So this is what it is. This is who she is. So what I want you to do is to create a guide for her that incorporates 3 to 4 simple steps or simple activities, we'll say, that she can let's see, that shares 3 to 4 activities that she can incorporate into her daily or weekly routine. All right, so we're going to create a guide, 3 to 4 simple activities. She can incorporate these into the daily or weekly routine. What else? We want to, let's see, this guide should be at least 1,000 words in length, ideally closer to 3,000. What else? Use Melissa, how would you describe your tone when you're writing and communicating? I would assume something that's maybe gentle, affirming, but let me know if there's a little bit more warm tone. Okay, use a warm and assuring tone. Let me see. We'll include supportive here. We'll use supportive. I love it. Okay. So use a warm and supportive tone. And be sure to, let's see, incorporate mention of, okay, let me go back here. Melissa, you are ultimately getting them onto a discovery call for coaching. That I coach clients with similar struggles throughout. After listing the steps or the activities, self-care activities in this article, transition into a clear call to action that she is able to take advantage of a free call with me to customize a plan for her that is doable and effective. How about that? All right. So you really want to put some thought into this prompt. You really want to take some time to build it out, specify what it is that you want, right? That's going to be the tone. Remember, it's also going to be the length, right? You're going to be clear on who this is for, how you want to speak to them, and then again, ultimately the goal of this, which is to position that you help people like her, that is what you do, that is your profession. And of course, we want to position that next step as being the next thing that she really ought to do. So let's go to write this. And then the next step that I would follow here is I would, what this generates, I'm going to, here, I actually want to maybe adjust my share here so that you guys can see fully what I'm going to do while this is generating. So to make life a little easier for you. All right, let me change my share here. Portion of screen. All right. So we've got this and we've got this. All right, here we go, perfect. So what we're doing is we're gonna copy all of this to the clipboard and I'm gonna put it over here in a word processor. All right, so I'm just gonna paste all of that here. And there's a good amount of content here. Now, note that we're trying to do this inside of 30 minutes. We're actually going over 30 minutes here. This is something that actually really deserves some thought and some thoughtful work, right? So this will take you a bit more time than we are demonstrating today, but I do want to make sure that you're clear on the steps that you can follow to get it done. So we get it all over here. And the reason why we want to put it over here is, number one, we need to make some edits to this, right? Go through here, make sure this actually sounds like you want it to sound. Make sure that it includes your name. Make sure that you are putting your link in here. Anything that you want to make sure is done, you want to get that done over here first. Now, our next step, once we've done this, is we're going to come over to Canva and we're going to go find a lead magnet. So I'm actually going to type in lead magnet and search their templates for a design that I like. And there are many really good ones. So maybe we can use this one here. And the beautiful thing about having this much content to work with is where you have like a 13-page lead magnet here. It's really beautiful. It feels very substantive and professional. Part of the reason why it does is because we aren't really, we're not trying to get all of this content into one page, right? We really want this to be an experience that they have. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pick our design, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to copy our title. And of course, you do want to make sure that in Canva, and this would be, subject of another training, we certainly have them. We want to paste in our title here. We want to make sure that our colors and everything are fitting our branding, right? We may need to, here, let me go to our text here. We might need to obviously change the size of our text. Beautiful. So we do have a lot to work with here. Again, we're not going to do this entire one here today, but this is just a really great opportunity to go in and just grab one paragraph at a time and go in and replace the text that's here. This is actually quite a lot, but let's see if there's a way for us to utilize the space that's available on this page to do it. So if I move this up, and just in this section here, I'm going to paste, and you can see that this is actually quite a lot. Let's see how we can actually, no, you know what, we can do this. I'm going to ungroup. This is grouped together. I'm going to put welcome up here, move it over, and then we can move this up just a bit. That's beautiful, right? And that fits right here. And we've already got that covered, right? Again, you want to make sure that you've got all of this edited first. If you want to use a table of contents, return to this page after you've actually created everything, right? You can use everything they've got here, you know, to the extent that you want. You could also delete pages if you choose as well by just clicking this little link here. Okay, so let's get into what it looks like to get the content in here. So here's our first one. So this one is mindful moments, anchoring your day in peace. I'm going to copy that. And this is going to be sort of maybe the intro page for that. Again, we can shrink that down a bit. And then again, we can go in and just do one thing at a time, right? So here's all of this. This should actually, this belongs on a single page, I think, because we're actually telling them what to do, and then we're giving them the steps. So then on this next page, this is where we can put that. So here we'll put the top paragraph, paste that in here, and then we can list off everything else, right? So you're going to follow these steps, and of course go in and make sure that everything fits the way you want it to. Again, here we might ungroup, maybe shrink. Actually, I'm going to move this. I'm just going to delete that. Here we go. And then here we can kind of move things around, right? So this is the idea that we're going for. Use the templates that are created here. Add in your content that you've generated from AI and create yourself a beautiful lead magnet that really feels substantive, that's really demonstrating what you're capable of doing, right? How you're capable of helping. And then as a final step, because we do have a call to action, you can see that this one actually correctly ends with a clear call to action. This is where you want to center what that is, right? So this is, let's get on a call together, or maybe you have them watch a masterclass video. Maybe you send them to a page and you're actually talking about the thing that you're selling on the page here. But what you want to do is you want to click this button image, and under more, you can go to link. And this is where you're going to actually paste the link to the place on your AttractWell site where perhaps somebody can book a call with you, or where they can maybe go to that sales page, that video, etc. Right? So make sure that you get this whole thing done. Let me change my share back over here, and let's talk about next steps. All right. So once you've got that done, we're going to go and put our lead magnet into AttractWell. The first thing you're going to want to do is upload the PDF version of this Canva file that we've just created to your files manager. Then we're going to link to that lead magnet, that PDF file, in day 0 of your funnels campaign. AKA somebody puts in their name and email address. We want to get them that thing that they signed up for right away, right? And of course, you're able to grab that link from that file manager and pop that right into your campaign there. You also can, and this is an optimal way of doing things. You don't have to do this, but I highly recommend it. Create a page that delivers the lead magnet that offers the next step. Right. And I actually have a version of this in the client funnel challenge and talk about what this looks like there. So highly recommend, if you guys haven't gone through the client funnel challenge yet, that you do so, because I actually have templates for this and show you ways to do this in there. But essentially what we're doing is we're creating a page that says, hey, here's the thing that you asked for. By the way, if you're looking for help with X, Y, and Z, do this next thing, right? That's get on a call with you. That's purchase this thing, go to this video, go to this sales page, etc. Right? All right, so let's go take a look at what that looks like. And then we'll get into live help and Q&A, and of course, working with you guys who signed up for live reviews. So we're going to share this, hit the share button in Canva, go to download. And then the file type needs to be PDF standard. This is especially if it's going to be a longer PDF. Sometimes if you're using PDF print, it's a bit too big of a file. So go to PDF standard here and download this. And then we're going to go over into our AttractWell dashboard. And we are going to go to our files section under the content library and upload that PDF that we just created. That's going to be in our downloads right here. I hope that you change the name of this. This one is not going to be the actual name of your lead magnet. Do make sure that you change that because that is going to be somewhat visible in some places, like in the URL. So yeah, you upload that PDF file here. Again, give it just a moment and it'll be ready to go. Here we go. I'm going to go to copy link and then I'll head up to campaigns. And I will go and add this to my day 0 message. So maybe this is, here we go. This is my initial nurture campaign or part of it. Here's the day 0 message. And I'm just going to go pop in here and give them the guide. So you can actually see that I've got a guide here. If I wanted to, I could just go and hit paste. I did just go copy. And we can see that it's not cute, right? This needs to be cute. So let's click this. Pull up this menu. Let's make it a button. I'll make it red, which is actually not red because I've changed colors and didn't name them appropriately. So here's a lime one. And let's go to edit and then we can change the text. And we'll say download your guide, right? We'll go to update. And now they'll see this nice button in their email to actually get that PDF. Similarly, if you wanted to create a lead magnet delivery page in AttractWell, you could create a page. And I actually think that the under our confirmation or thank you pages, several of these are actually really great. They're great lead magnet, they're great confirmation pages for your funnels, but this is also a really great format for a delivery page where you could say here, here, I'm so glad you opted into this. We'll say right here, click here for your, so grab your guide here. And here we'll paste this, insert this, and maybe make this a nice button, right? And then, but here it says before you go, or here you could actually say, if you're looking for help with, right? And then we say some more stuff here. You could put a video here. Basically, this is where we want to center our call to action. So, hey, here's the thing that you asked for. You can go ahead and get that here. But what we really want them to do is to identify with those next steps. And this, of course, is where you can put a link. You could put a video. You could certainly, of course, link this button to your sales page if that's your goal in, excuse me, in conversion. Or, of course, you could put a booking form here or link off to a booking page. And you could use that as the page to deliver your lead magnet in your funnel. So you would then link that page to that day 0 in your funnel instead of just sending them to a file, right? So that's the optimal way to do that in my view. All right, let me see if there's a couple of quick questions here. And then let me see, we have for today, Amber and Sudi, if you are here, pop your hand up for me and let me know that you're ready. And I'm going to be calling on you guys and bringing you out here to chat here in just a moment. Okay, so Cheryl, I got that one. All right, Sandy says, is giving a DISC assessment a good enough lead magnet? My target market is business owners and leaders who are frustrated with staff turnover or have challenges with communication, like infighting drama, department managers. Right now I'm using the lead form on a page. It sends directly to the assessment. Then they get an option to set up a call after they take it, but it's set as a paid call. Too aggressive? No, it's not too aggressive. So Sandy, unfortunately, a DISC assessment is not a compelling enough reason for you as a brand, because DISC is its own thing. And yes, you do have to have a certain relationship with that company to be able to offer those assessments, free or paid, or to incorporate them into the work that you do. But it's a DISC assessment, even though it does give very targeted answers, it itself is too generalized of an offer. So what I would do is maybe kind of get into maybe some of the case studies, the successes that you've had, or the instances that you can think of in your career that really point to the type of person that you know you want to be working with, the unique problems that you know that they have, that they know that they have. And let's think about something that you could give them. Maybe it's a checklist. Maybe it's a written guide of some kind that maybe deals with a specific problem. So, and you could have multiples of these, to be fair. And a DISC assessment is maybe something that you could offer as part of that free consult with you, right? So you could say, like, I'm offering a free package of a consult and an assessment. And that could be the thing that is the call to action from your lead magnet, right? Incorporate that into how you are maybe kind of leveling up the value of them getting on a call with you. But the prospect of getting them to listen to you in the first place needs to come from a source that is more tailored and targeted to the problems they know that they have. If they knew they wanted a DISC assessment, they could Google it and go find a place to get it done and find whoever's in the top results on Google. So it needs to really speak to a problem that they know that they have. So maybe thinking about the dealing with staff turnover, right? So are you dealing with staff turnover? Get my guide to retaining great employees. Incorporate these three things into your hiring process, or into your quarterly reviews, and you'll keep all of your best employees forever, right? That's going to be a little bit more compelling than saying, I offer this assessment that is its own brand, that's not yours, right? I hope that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Amber, Scott, there you are. Hello. Hi, how can we help today?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good, you?
I'm doing good. So I have two different websites, but the one I had questions on today was nextlevelups.org. I launched it, sent it out to, a dozen or so people, and immediately got, oh my God, this looks horrible on the mobile.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
like, I'm kind of struggling on how to, I went through some of the training videos. But if you guys could maybe take a look at it with me and kind of tell me some quick hits that I can do to kind of make this look better. Just the homepage, that's where the majority of it is. I feel like my about page actually looks really good. I don't know how I got that to look so good, but this looks awful.
All right. Yeah, no, we can do that. It's a learning process, and it looks like you've already started with
Yeah.
some solid, like, you've watched some of the trainings, right? You're kind of seeing that sometimes it means you need to have something that's visible on certain devices and not visible on others. So yeah, let's take a first look. Obviously we're designed pretty well here for desktop. I would definitely encourage you to incorporate a lot more padding into your design here, because we've got a lot of verbiage that's kind of, it's not centering the eyes on this call to action. We really want to make sure that this call to action is where their eyes go and they do something with it. But there's a lot competing with it here. So something that you could do in that instance, let me see, this is the desktop version, is I would around, let me see, I'd go into the element style here. I would add some top and bottom padding here.
Okay.
Right. So I just isolated that button element and I added the box around the button. So now you can see that the discovery call button is, well, if it would like to show me, maybe I'll save it and then we can take a look. Okay. There we go. So that should help, I think, a great deal, right? Just again, drawing the eye here to this space. Okay, so, but you were saying on mobile.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, I've made several changes trying to get it better, but if you scroll down to like this, most common obstacles in, and then there's like giant spacing between that and government contracting, that's all technically like one sentence or header. It just
Oh,
looks
okay.
really strange.
Yeah. So that is, let me see, this one, right? This
Yeah.
one here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it
Okay.
was super big, so I took it completely down to a smaller font size.
So the reason why most likely this is showing up the way that it is with that spacing is because of the paragraph setting for it. For some reason, here, let's just select all of it. And we're going to give it just normal. Sometimes you just gotta go in and look at the code view and see what it's doing here. Greg, I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are here on how this sentence is kind of showing up. I kind of figured that it might be like a different paragraph setting than say this one, because that's what it looks like, but it doesn't necessarily look like that in the code. And
Yeah, I mean,
and it is
what I'd
wrapping.
probably,
Go ahead, sorry.
yeah, what I'd probably suggest here, since it's pretty simple text, would be if you can close out the preview, there's a little the trash can icon under that second level menu there on the, well, actually, before you do that, copy everything, select everything and copy.
Uh-huh.
And then, so we got that for the text, and then click the little trash can that will like reset that section, and then
Yeah.
use that paste plain text. I think,
Yep.
given that it is just, plain text, and then you can pretty
Mhm.
easily go in and add the formatting back.
Yeah.
It looked like there were a couple different font sizes in there, just glancing at the code, and some sort of margin that may have been added with that style tool. So this should fix it.
Perfect.
More here.
Oops. All right. So you did want to have that top line kind of bold, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Bolded.
Yeah. Perfect.
I
Yeah.
can go in
So
there and mess with that stuff. I just want to, if that works, then that at least it's kind of like, the proverbial reboot.
yeah, that is done. Let's take a look. Yeah. So now
Yeah,
there's no
much
weird
better.
thing here. This is another case where I would recommend inserting padding. So you can do this actually because it's a new section. You click the little pencil to edit the section. And I, again, would just give it a little bit more, sorry, that's left, right, background. Here we go. Background padding, up, down. Here we go. So yeah, I would just give it a little bit more on the top and bottom. You want when you have a lot of text really close together, it reads to the brain like this is going to take me a lot of time, and people tend to kind of not really pay as much attention. But the more space you give, they can read one line at a time. It's just kind of appealing to the I like picture books part of our brain. Yeah. So yeah, so we got that kind of worked out there. Again, not bad. I would put some padding in this one. Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's address this because this is huge. And I'll just take a quick look at the rest. Okay, so same in this one. Okay. Yeah, so we're basically, it's going to be the same for all three of those sections that we're looking at for. Excellent. Okay. I would, and I know that I talk about in several of our trainings about sort of having a blurb about you, but and having like a read more going off to an about me page. I would not put that here, because what we want to do is like we really want them to actually book a discovery call if they're interested. And this is the more important call to action than this one, because you probably have an about in your menu, right? If they wanted to go learn more about you specifically, they could find that easily. But I wouldn't make it compete with this. So I would maybe get rid of that.
So get rid of the about me section here, or just the read more button?
The read more button. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would just maybe provide as much as is relevant to what you've talked about on this page.
Gotcha.
And then have that call to action there at the bottom. So yeah, let's take a look at this. I would say that even on desktop, you don't really need to have this big of font. So if we took this down to, somewhere in the 60s, or maybe 260, I think that is definitely a little bit. Yeah. I mean, again, I think in both cases here, the text is a little big for either. But here, let me select the whole thing and let's just add a space in between. that's going to be important. And I would say for this, let's take this down just a bit. I mean, if you wanted to keep it really big on desktop, you could certainly just duplicate the section and make it all smaller. But yeah, I would take in all of these sections the formatting down in terms of the size. I would also, again, add some padding here on the bottom, just to give it that balance with the top. And then we could take a look at what that looks like.
Oh yeah, that looks a lot better.
Yeah, so I would basically just do the same thing that we just did here in these other sections. And yeah, just generally speaking, space is your friend, where you are including a lot of information and adding more, entering between paragraphs or adding more padding to the tops and bottoms of sections are going to benefit you, because if you have a lot to say, you need to create a lot more scroll as opposed to trying to fit it all into each section.
Okay, that makes sense. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad we could help. All right, let me see. All right, I had Sudhi Bar down for a review. If you are not here, then we do have space, for another review. Amber Rabbit, I see your hand is up. Let me know in the chat if you would like a review of anything. Let me see. Okay, awesome. There was a question here, Melissa, where would my digital self-care journal go in the guide? Am I just offering the guide? Would my digital self-care journal be offered in another lead magnet? So if you can incorporate what your digital self-care journal is and does into a tool that she knows she needs, right? If you can contextualize that journal, so basically here are the 4 things, now use the journal to do these 4 things every day, right? You can absolutely incorporate what you've already created into this. It's just really, really important that unless she's out there thinking she needs a journal, she probably doesn't think she needs a journal, because journal sounds like work to a very overwhelmed person, right? So if we can make this feel as easy as possible to her by saying, hey, you know what, look, I get it, I've been there. If you could do these 4 things, you can start to feel a difference. And I've got this guide and it teaches you what all of these things are. And I've even incorporated a journal to help you keep track of what you're doing, right? That is going to, I think, be more effective than just saying, hey, I know you're overwhelmed, here's a journal, right? You could still incorporate the journal, right? I think the journal is actually a really important part of helping her get the benefit that she's looking for. But this goes back to the, make sure that this is something she knows she wants. This is something she knows she needs. And if someone's overwhelmed, telling them, here's a tool to make you do more work is not going to be as compelling as saying, here are 4 things you can do. They're super easy, right? And then the fact that there is a journal that's part of it is something that is what makes this work, but it's not positioning that first. It's positioning the thing that she's going to respond to first, right? So we're keeping the work that you've done, we're framing it a little differently, right? Okay, you could absolutely offer this in your Facebook group, but only if they give you their email address and permission for you to send the email campaign to them, right? To send messages to them. All right, Amber Rabbit, hi, how can we help?
Hey, so I am struggling a little bit with my landing pages and trying to create like a background for them.
Okay.
So if we could look at that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So when you say landing pages, do you mean like our simplified landing page feature or page in AttractWell that you're using as a landing page?
No, and here's where I may have gone wrong. Like under website and blog, I did landing pages and then add, and then I just created a bunch of them.
Okay.
So for example, let's look at, I don't know, you could just pick any of them.
Okay.
Parasite Moon, Parasite Cleanse, that one, the full moon Parasite Cleanse. And then it's just white in the background. So it just looks really bland. And I don't know how to change that. Or can I change that?
So right here, under, so you see the settings up here, there's a little arrow. You can change the background image and colors. And so here's the background color, and you could, use some kind of background image here if you wanted to. So let's, we'll maybe use like a blog banner because it's really big in Canva. And
So if you go down on all of my saved photos, I tried to do this,
oh,
but
okay.
I don't know why it's not letting me change the background when I click on it.
Okay.
If you scroll down, I made a banner with like my logo, kind of like you guys did with your AttractWell. Little,
This one?
little bit. That right there.
Yeah. Okay.
I tried to see if I could do that like you guys did with your AttractWell, because that looks really good how you guys did that.
So yeah, I'm hitting add and it's not here. Let me try it again. Background image.
Yeah, it won't let me add anything. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
I'd have to
Well,
look
that
at
may
that
be a
here.
bug. What's that?
I might have to look at that here, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So
Yeah.
the cool thing about this feature is that it's just a really simple, quick, and easy way to put together a landing page for an offer. But if you're wanting to dial in the design a little bit more, you can create something very similar to this in terms of, it's a simple page. It's got, an image over here. It's got a form over here, but you want more stuff happening on it. You can create something like this in Pages and have a lot more control. Now, Greg definitely, is going to take a look at why we're not able to add that background image here. So there is an option to do it. You just may have discovered a bug for us. So thanks. But let's take a look at Pages real
Okay,
quick.
cool.
Yeah, if you wanted to, and I actually really like using Pages because you can do a little bit more with them. However, like the cool thing about this is if you filled out the My Story and Photo, that's going to show up underneath this. And so if you've got My Story and Photo filled out, you do this little thing and you've got just instant landing pages that are super easy to create. And so that's the benefit of using the landing pages feature. But yeah, if you are somebody that wants to dial in design a bit more, then I would go into Pages. And what I would do is, obviously we're going to add a new one. There are landing page templates here. Actually, this one is almost identical in format to the one that we are talking about here, sort of replicating what's in the in that form, but you can add a lot more to it, right? Like you can have all kinds of custom sections and things like that, but replace this with the image that you have on that landing page already. Let me see if I can.
Can I ask you something based on that?
Yeah.
Because I was gonna do that. I was gonna recreate it in Pages the other day. And then I was like, one of my reels went viral and I had like 200 people opt in to that
Nice.
exact one. So if I
Okay.
changed, I have it set up with ManyChat to automatically send them my link. If I change that, it's gonna change all the ones that have already sent it to ManyChat, right? So then I would lose all of those opt-ins.
So if they've already opted in, then those are your leads, and you would just want to make sure that that you swap out the URL if you're creating like a new version of it here. Just make sure you're swapping the URL out in the post, so that
I don't have a URL in the post. I had about 800 people DM me, but 200 people opted in. So then say the 600 others, if they click on that link, it would be an old link.
I would keep it there. I mean, if you've got 600 people who could if you've got 600 people that responded to your content, I would not change anything, keep it correct. Obviously you would like for it to be a little bit more dialed in aesthetically, but yeah, don't lose 600 potential leads over a background. Yeah,
that's where I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but like moving forward, you could obviously once we get this bug resolved, you can add backgrounds to those landing pages. But if you wanted to use Pages, you would just go to wherever the source is. So if it's in ManyChat and it's like automatically sharing a link, just swap that out in ManyChat so that the next people who opt in get that that updated link.
Amazing. Okay. And then last quick question is just, so I bought this course that teaches me how to do the complete like funnel from a webinar with all the different pages and upsells. It's a Kajabi template. Do I have to recreate that, or can I literally copy the Kajabi template into AttractWell?
So there are some instances where a copy and paste is doable. Generally speaking, platform to platform, whether it's Squarespace to Kajabi or Kajabi to us or WordPress to Squarespace or whatever, these templates are, it's kind of like, you know, I'm getting on a plane, I'm going to Europe, but I just crossed a country border, and that I speak Spanish doesn't mean that I necessarily am the same fluency in Portuguese, right? So the code is different. So the language on the back end of the Kajabi page, of the AttractWell page, there's probably some similarities, and there may be ways to copy the HTML of a section, for instance, into one to another. But generally speaking, the best path is going to be to, and we've done this in a couple of trainings, and we'd be thrilled to, you know, kind of help with the recreation on a live call. But essentially what you're going to do is just build out a page in AttractWell that has the same format. So let's just say, for instance, the template you got that works in Kajabi, the first section is a header. So you create a header. Second section is 2-column with an image on the left side. So you're basically just building out using our template sections. And let me actually just show you what I'm talking about. So if I were going to recreate a page, I'm going to go blank. This is my preference. If I'm recreating a page from somewhere else, you could also just find a page here and swap out content. But if you're wanting to use what they created design-wise as close to verbatim as possible, if they had a header section at the top, add a header section. If they had a 2-column section with an image on the left, add that here, and then just basically build out the framework for what they created. Then you want to make sure that you're getting all of the content out of those templates, right? So any images, background images, video, things like that, you want to make sure you have those in your AttractWell system, or at least on your local device, so that you can get them uploaded into your AttractWell system, because all of that stuff needs to be hosted. And while some of that could be transferable in Kajabi, for instance, with a Kajabi account, just like resource bundles in AttractWell, like that hosting transfers automatically if you claim a bundle from someone else in AttractWell. You do need to make sure that that stuff is hosted here. Otherwise, you know, if the image that you copied over from Kajabi, you don't have that account anymore, like that image could go away there, and now you have like a blank space on your website, right? So you get the content over, and then you can go in and, you know, do essentially what I would do here, because you do have your brand font set up, is I would use the paste plain text feature. So for their headline, copy it, and then come over here, select yours, and then come over here to paste plain text, right? And so this way you are basically following the same copy and flow of the way things are set up, and you're able to move that content over in a way that's congruent with your brand settings here.
Okay, so what you just did with that paste plain text, okay, because they had like a really pretty cursive and then it was slanted, and I couldn't figure out how to recreate that in AttractWell. Is that what I would do? I would copy it from there and then paste plain text on the header right there?
No, unfortunately. So you would have to identify what that font is and make sure that that's uploaded to your AttractWell system.
Okay. Can I recreate it in Canva and then do that there?
In any of these instances, if you want, I mean, if it's an image, if you're just going to be using an image and you got that from Canva, sure. But there are some repercussions as a business for utilizing fonts that you don't have license to use. Now, Canva, you kind of have the license built in if you're like a pro user and you're using stuff on your website. But whatever the font is that they were using, you want to make sure that you like have a license for that font. And or that font is open source, like a Google font or something like that. In any case, it might be really cute, but it's also like it needs to be something that is congruent with the branding that you have. And of course, if you decide that you want to incorporate that into your branding, you got to make sure that you can, right? By having, you know, the like actually downloading the font into your website, that makes it, you know, officially yours. You're using it, you have a license for it, etc.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, sure thing. All right. Thank you guys for the great questions today. I think we've gone through all of them. Just a heads up for those of you who are here every week. I think I mentioned this at the top of the call, but just a quick reminder, because next week is the 4th of July here in the US, we will be offering a pre-recorded call. Because we will be off celebrating the holiday. But we will be back the following week. So definitely keep your eyes open. We will have some great training for you next week, but it will come in the form of a live, what do they call that? A live premiere on our YouTube channel. So we'll get that link to you next week. Hope you guys have a great week. We are still active in our Facebook group, of course, and in the inbox. So keep those questions coming. Let us know what you want to learn next. And till then, you guys have a great week. And if you're in the US, a great holiday. Take care, everybody.